This is the OC with Dallas Cowboys Sports, where your voice matters. Today, I want to get into the offensive line updates and my review so far from training camp. Now let's jump right in. We've had a lot of movement along that offensive line in terms of injuries and also in this year's training camp with people playing various positions. We know that we had Tyron Smith back from neck surgery, but he's been held out and limited because of some tendonitis in the elbow. Those things are concerning to me off the rip. I don't like my tackle that missed most of last year, missing time with tendonitis in his elbow. I think we should keep a close eye on what goes on with Tyron Smith. I don't predict him to play all 16 games, but if we can get 12 to 14 games out of Tyron Smith, I will be very, very happy. The issue is who would be the backup. Let's explore our options. We signed a guy, Nasheem, from the Washington Redskins, who also played for the Buffalo Bills. I'm not sure how he's doing in camp. From what I've seen so far on tape, nothing special at all. You've also seen Steele, who played right tackle last year as a rookie, get some snaps with the ones at the left tackle position. I saw him one-on-one versus Randy Gregory, and man, it was like it's like Steele wasn't even there. Randy Gregory ran around him so fast, it was pretty mind-blowing. So anyway, this is not a defensive line video. This is talking about the O-line. But if Tyron Smith is not healthy, who do we go to for a viable resource in the left tackle position? These are questions that have to be answered. The rookie Josh Ball has got snaps also with the twos in the left tackle position. To me, this is an element of how well Josh Ball plays, because if Josh Ball can come out and play well in a couple of preseason games, look for him to quickly move up the depth chart to the number 2 position. No disrespect to Steele. I think based upon his footwork and his mechanics, he's much better suited to be a front side or a right tackle than he is to be a left tackle backup. You also have Brandon Knight, which Brandon Knight is a guy that played obviously with Tyron Smith being injured last year. But listen, when it comes to Brandon Knight, to me, he's a guy that is a very average to below average backup. He has average feet, he has average size. He's not necessarily overpowering. He's a body, he's a guy you can put in there to potentially get some things done. But, however, do I think he's a viable, strong, long-term solution if in the event that a Tyron Smith is not available all 16 games or he has some lingering health issues? I absolutely don't see it. My contention is to look out for cuts and to also bring in a veteran backup left tackle that you can get for a discounted price. Do not go into the season if there's any questions, and that is if there's any questions about Tyron Smith's health, without having a viable backup. That leads me to my second point, Leo Collins. Leo Collins is back from the hip surgery. He's also back from a tremendous diet and weight loss. Looks pretty good physically, but some tape that I've seen with me in terms of camp has me also concerned in the sense that he's a strong run blocker, but it has me concerned in the sense of pass protection. I want to see how that hip holds up when he gets into live action. I've seen him get beat on a few plays from tape I've seen, and it appears that, hey, he's mostly healthy, but he needs to pick up the pace coming off of the football, in my opinion, in terms of his kick step, sliding back, and pass protection. Now, it is early in camp, so, hey, listen, don't overreact to this, but what I'm saying is that, hey, I like to see more work from him from a pass protecting position, because when we get into some of the games in the NFC East and he faces Monty Sweat, he faces the Chase Young, some of the more premier pass rushers in the NFC East, he will be tested. And with some of the early games against Tampa Bay, against Pierre Paul, Devin White, and also Shaq Barrett, those guys, he's going to be tested off of the edge, and he's going to have to be very, very quick with those first 2 kick slide steps to set up and be in front of guys that can rush from speed to power, meaning that these guys have speed, but they also have a tremendous amount of strength, and they can overcome you with a quick punch. If it's a quick punch and your feet is not there and your body's not sitting down, they can actually overcome that move and close the distance on you, get inside or get to your hip and close out the rush by getting to the quarterback. So I think that we want to keep an eye on him. Interested to see how he performs in the first preseason games, especially the 3rd preseason game where he'll probably get the majority of his snaps. As predicted, and I said this last year, Abadias is looking very, very good in camp. In my opinion, he's an excellent, you couldn't have had a better replacement for Travis Frederick. I think that he is in line to have a great year, if not a Pro Bowl year. Pro Bowl caliber year. That's how much I believe in him as a center. He's intelligent. He's strong at the point of attack. He has good feet. He combos good. He works well in terms of coordinating where that offensive line needs to go in terms of their protections, their slides, their movements, their audibles, the whole 9 yards. I like him a lot personally as a player, and I look for him to have a fantastic year coming out here, barring health injuries for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, to the most interesting position in camp right now. So this week we've heard rumblings of Connor Williams taking some backup snaps at center. You hear Connor McGovern playing well in the left guard position. Now, Connor McGovern coming out of Penn State, really, I thought he played a little bit too far in front of his feet. In other words, that he lunged. But I also saw him as a guy that was pretty quick at the point of attack and also a guy that played with a lot of power. And the thing that we haven't had from the left guard position is a left guard in the most recent years that could play with a lot of power and that could actually create movement and stop guys from bull rushing him and taking him back to the quarterback. Connor Williams has struggled with players like that. So in terms of strength at the point of attack, I think that McGovern is the better option. I'm looking for McGovern, if he plays well in the preseason, to push Connor Williams. And if Connor Williams plays bad at the end of the preseason and any phase of the beginning of the regular season, look for Connor McGovern to get in there and take that starting position. Now, as long as Connor McGovern is going to be adequate in terms of his footwork side to side, I think that he'll be adequate and probably an upgrade strength-wise, definitely in the run game, playing in the left guard position. No knock against Connor Williams, but the strength is the issue. And unfortunately, if you are a left guard and you're playing with 4 other Pro Bowlers and you don't play above average and you look average or below average, it's going to be an issue at some point in your career. So that's in any position, whatever you do in life. Man, look, if you are around a whole bunch of guys that are all world at what they do and you look mediocre or below mediocre, you're going to stand out. And eventually, you're going to get your card pulled in terms of your performance and in terms of the expectations being a whole lot higher. I will say this, that, hey, Connor McGovern has pretty decent footwork. I think that really him being a backup center, aka being expendable, may be a good ideal for him in terms of longevity of his career. If he can manage being really, really good in the center position, it gives him more options and more opportunities to play for the Cowboys and our other teams. Now, going on to Zach Martin. Zach Martin is getting some time off and has missed some practices. But listen, I'm not worried about Zach Martin. To me, he's probably the best offensive lineman on the team at this point. Very tenured, extremely experienced, can play guard or tackle, all around, all world player. Even when he's not playing at 100%, he's still an all world, all pro type player. So I look for him to be extremely strong and not to have any issues for whatever time that he may miss. I think he'll be fine when it's time to play. I think that, hey, ultimately, he'll be good to go. A Farnerick, which is also a late draft pick out of Nebraska, has kind of moved around a little bit in camp. I think that, this is a deal that you have some good veteran offensive linemen, you have some younger players that just got drafted, and he's probably the guy, along with some free agents, that's going to have to battle things out and try to prove himself to make this 53-man roster. But look for him probably to make the practice squad. He may not be carried on the 53-man roster, barring injury or barring somebody just not playing well, and then he's playing very, very well. So that's my outtake. That's the updates in terms of the offensive line and training camp so far. Listen, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like content like this and more. Follow Dallas Cowboys Sports on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow me, the OC, at CB the OC on Instagram, and also the OC 100. OC 100 or the OC 100 on Twitter. All right, and so we can engage there. Until next time, don't forget to share the content. Please hit the like button and share. And the OC, Dallas Cowboys Sports, and I'm out.